how can you easily grow microgreens at home. Today we're going to show you how to grow mustard seeds and methi seeds, that is fenugreek. These two are readily available in most Indian households, and we're going to show you how to easily grow them at home. What we'll be using here is a nice hydroponic grow tray, or it's also called as a paddy tray, or you can also use it for growing wheat grass. If you don't have access to this tray, you can use any other tray. It should have good drainage, it should have holes. The advantage with this tray is that it has multiple holes. You have small blocks here, and each of the blocks, they have holes, which allows for good drainage and good water circulation as well. So now we're going to add some Myrofarm's potting mix that we are using here. If you don't have access to this, you can use any good potting mix which has good drainage and a basic nutrient value. Now this potting mix is what we are using here. Our potting mix is nice, a little coarse, a little fine. It has all the nutrients required to grow microgreens. This is the same potting mix that you can use to grow any of your indoor plants or flowering plants. If you're using it for flowering plants and say vegetable plants, that we recommend you add a little bit of red soil or you add more compost to it. For growing microgreens, this is more than sufficient. Once you put the soil, you want to slightly spread it around, okay? And our potting mix is good enough. This 5 kg potting mix is good enough for 3 trays of this size. If you're using smaller trays, that'll be that means you can plant much more. Now we're just spreading this around and giving it a light tap. What you can do is you can put another tray on top to compact it, but we don't want to compact it too much, just a little bit. We're tapping it with the fingers. Now if your potting mix or soil is not too wet, if it doesn't have moisture, then you can actually spray it. Now once you touch, and it is sticking to my hand, it has enough moisture and I don't need to water it again. Now we are going to start laying our seeds. Like I said, we are going to use mustard, which is rye or sarson, and today what we're going to do is we're going to lay half the tray with mustard and half of it with fenugreek. So we're going to take some seeds. What I like to do is I like to take them in my hand and I just like to lay it like this. Okay. Now notice that I am actually putting the seeds quite a lot. So I am going to sow this very heavily. The reason for that, we'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I'll show you why I'm sowing it so heavily. And we actually calculated last time, and you need about 100 grams of mustard seeds for a tray, for a complete tray. Today we're going to sow only half a tray, and you can do that. You can do this with any tray or any pot if you have. Okay, notice that I am actually sowing this very heavily. I don't want any gaps. I'm putting wherever I can see any exposed soil. Okay, so I'm covering this nicely. I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. Mustard is a very fast growing plant, and so is methi fenugreek. So we're done with mustard here. Now for the other half, we're going to put some methi. Now methi or fenugreek, you can actually sow this. You can actually soak this in water a day before, and it helps with the germination. But we just sow it directly, and it's absolutely fine. Notice we are sowing this heavily too. You know, methi is actually consumed in 2 forms in India. One is small methi, choti methi, and one is big methi. So choti methi is basically, the small methi is more or less a microgreen in itself, and for that you don't actually need a bigger pot or a bigger vessel. Last time we sowed methi in this, and one full tray of this size accommodates 125 to 150 grams of methi. Okay, Now we're done with the laying of the seeds. Now a lot of people, they sprinkle a layer of soil, or what they do is they cover it with something. I am fine just leaving it like this. That we have laid our seeds, the next step is to water it or mist it. You can use a spray pump like this, and you can nicely heavily mist your seeds. Okay, you want each and every corner of your tray to be nicely covered with this. Okay, you will have to do this step in the beginning if your potting soil is dry, but our potting soil had enough moisture, so we didn't do it. Notice the seeds are nice and wet. That should be enough. That's fine. So this is nice and wet. The next step to do is that usually what I like to do is I like to cover it with another tray like this. Now you're not going to cover it like this. What I like to do is I like to cover it like this. So if you're growing some other microgreens in this, that is even better, because you want a little bit of weight here, and you want to put this on top of this tray. Okay, you want to put it on top of this tray. If you don't have, if you're not using this tray, if you're using another type of tray, you can always cover it with another type of tray, or you can cover it with some newspaper as well. Basically what you want to do is that you want to give it some darkness and some humidity and some warmth for the germination to happen quickly. So we have covered it like this, and if you're putting some microgreens or wheatgrass in this, that's absolutely fine. You can do it up to about 4 to 5 trays, and that is okay. When they start germinating, they will start pushing this tray a little up like this. Okay, and which is good, because what is happening is that the new seedlings which are actually growing are developing the strength. They're becoming stronger. As they're pushing the tray up, they're becoming stronger. The roots are getting pushed in the soil, and the shoots are getting the strength. So in future you will have much healthier looking and better microgreens, and a much more compact microgreen as well. Now we are ready with this. We are ready to keep this in a nice place. We'll keep it away from some direct sunlight. We'll keep it in semi shade or a shaded area. And we had already sown 2 trays last week. Not last week, we had sown it on 15th of August, and today is the 21st of August. So that is now we have a 6 days harvest. Now I will show you. We'll just get the trays for you. These are the trays that we sowed last week, and you can have a look. This is mustard, and this is fenugreek, that is methi, and this is methi is almost exactly like what you get in the market, the small bunches of these methi that are sold in the market. Now these microgreens are extremely easy to harvest. I'll show you how to harvest them. This, we're just going to make a small bunch, okay, and give it a small cut like this. I like to use scissors. You can use a knife. Scissors make it very easy. You can just take small bunches and give it a nice cut. You want to cut it above the ground, above the potting mix. Now look at these fenugreek shoots or fenugreek microgreens. Notice the fenugreeks, the cover of the fenugreek seeds that are on top, which can easily be removed by washing. So you can just wash it in some water and they'll be removed. Another thing that you can do is brush your microgreens slightly like this from day 4 onwards or day 3 onwards slightly, and that helps in removing a lot of covering. Now we'll take another fat bunch. I'm actually sitting in the wrong direction, so it's a little difficult here. Okay, look at this. And we're going to put it in this. Nice. The best thing to do is that you can harvest your microgreens fresh and then use it when you're actually cooking. We're going to harvest some mustard greens. Now notice this bit. We had actually harvested this on day 4 or 5. We had actually used it. We were making egg shakshuka in Indian style actually, and then we actually harvested some of this and we used it, and notice that it has actually grown back. In the last 2 days it's actually grown back, and that a lot of people will tell you when they're growing microgreens that they won't grow back. But the thing is that if you sow heavily and if you cover the tray densely, then you will have seeds which were covered initially and which will now grow, and then you can get at least 2 to 3 crops from a single sow. So what we'll do is we will cut a nice, look at this. Actually, let's see this. Look at how the roots have developed for this mustard. Look at this, look at this. They've become nice, okay, starting to get a little root bound, which is good, okay, because in a microgreens this is what we need. And notice that there's been very good drainage because each and every square has a hole. Now we will harvest some of this. We will hold it from the side. You will take your scissors in, okay, try to grab as much as you can because you want your microgreens to fall off, and then you will cut it above the soil. Okay, now look at this, look at this. They're just fantastic. They're fresh, beautiful. They don't have any coverings. They do have some neem leaves. We have a huge neem tree covering this part. So that is how you basically harvest it. Now I must tell you that we have been growing these in semi-shade. We have, like I said, we have a huge neem tree which covers this section of the garden, and it's been raining crazy from the past 5 to 6 days. Ever since we sowed them, they have actually been in the rain, which is not necessarily a great thing, but it doesn't really affect the mustard or the fenugreek. If it is some other sensitive crop microgreens, maybe say amaranth or red amaranth or something like that, it can severely affect that. Now some things to note for your microgreens are that the watering. Since it was raining, we didn't water them at all. But you can actually just slightly lift your tray if you're covering it with a tray. If there's no tray, you can just touch your soil and see if it is moist. If it is moist and if the seeds are slightly moist, then you don't need to water it. It's always recommended to cover it, like I said, with a tray or a newspaper, because you don't want the moisture to get lost. You want the humidity to be in there, and you want that darkness for germination. Now that's one thing. The other thing is that you don't want your microgreens to be in a place where there is no airflow or where there is no ventilation, because that will give rise to fungus. Notice these microgreens, they are thickly packed, but there is absolutely no fungus because of two main factors. Because of the tray that we are using, it gives the root nice ventilation. Each and every square has a hole, and that gives it the ventilation as well as very good drainage. Plus we had kept it outside, so notice this, there is absolutely no fungus here. If you do see fungus in the first 1 or 2 days, that's okay. That fungus will die off when you start exposing it to little partial or dappled sunlight, so don't worry about that. If you see a little bit of fungus, that's absolutely fine. In your final harvest, you should probably not see any, because once it gets exposed to sunlight and there's good airflow, that should go away. I think we've tried to cover most of what you would like to know for microgreens in this episode. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. And we will make another small video. Our kids will be making a video on how to use these microgreens for salads or in fireless cooking, because we'll show you how easy it is to use these microgreens. And like I said, once you harvest your microgreens, you want to give them a nice wash. So this was an episode on how to grow microgreens. As you have seen, it's extremely simple. I would urge you to go and give it a try. You can try multiple seeds. You can try it with fennel, you can try it with kalonji, which is Nigella seeds. You can try it with a lot of seeds that you find in your kitchen. So we have just grown methi and mustard, that is fenugreek and rye today, because it's readily available in almost every Indian household, and it's extremely easy to use. You can use methi as it is. This is how we get methi in the market, and you can use it. The mustard greens are a great source of nutrition. and like I said, we will be covering on how to use them in a next episode on my gardening as well as my cooking channel. So thank you for being with us, thank you for watching our video, and if you like, please give us a thumbs up and do subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you get notified every time we make a new video. Thank you for watching our channel.